Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, no need to fear. Friendly neighborhood, light skinish. And in today's video, we are reacting to the Banks and Plaqueboymax situation is bad. Yeah, I ain't got this whole FaZe situation, their whole collapse, bro. I ain't gonna, it's not a good look. And from what I saw a clip earlier that's talking about Banks is like 40 million in debt, something like that. I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's not looking good. But with that being said, bro, we're gonna get to this video and see what this boy Banks over here talking about.
We go live and talk about standing on business, and I was right, and look who was right, and I left FaZe first, and look at me, 100K viewers, highest off the clout, just proving everything that I said.
This Banks was calling Max in the car. And they're like, yo, this Silky, though, he's lazy. Not even knowing Max was on speaker. Silky is right next to Max.
Apparently, I'm
damn. Ain't that about a bit?
This awful, terrible guy, monster, who Max had all these issues with.
Max and Banks got in an argument. He calls other FaZe members and says, this.
After all of the recent FaZe drama, allegations, and finger pointing, more people wanted to come and bring clarity to the situation. That mainly being Plaqueboymax's cousin, who was doing a lot of finger pointing at FaZe Banks after his recent video calling out not only Plaqueboymax but also the other FaZe boys, basically making them seem like the egotistical fake monsters that a lot of people try to depict in modern day influencers. And because of all of that, FaZe Banks himself even came back with a 20-minute long video exposing him and Plaqueboymax's text messages from 5 months ago till now. The situation got very muddy, but I want to break down everything that happened, and in order to do that, we have to start from the very beginning. Who even are any of these people? How did we get in this situation in the first place?
But the one person that jumped straight on the opportunity at the first chance they got and farm it, Plaqueboymax. You can always count on him. And for everybody watching, I'm going to be sharing our conversations from the time I left FaZe till now.
For the uninitiated and the unaware, this is FaZe Banks, former owner of FaZe, and in the middle of a bunch of allegations with not only FaZe itself but some other FaZe members, mainly being Plaqueboymax as of right now. And I have an entire video breaking down everything that's happened, what Max has said and what Banks has said, so if you want to watch that, go ahead and look at the top right. There would be a card that'll direct you there, but I'll give you a short rundown of everything that was said. Max had came out after leaving FaZe and everybody else had left FaZe, saying the reason mainly came down to bad business practices with them trying to fleece them out of 20K. And the reason that FaZe Banks got even tied into this is because Banks had put out a tweet saying he only wishes the best for the FaZe boys and that he is not involved at all, because people were doing a lot of finger pointing saying that he was the main proponent of all of this. And instead of Max saying anything, he just put up the tweet and played a laugh track, which apparently made Banks upset because he went on a 13-ish minute rant talking bad not only about Max but also about the other FaZe boys. And this caused most recently his cousin to get on live stream and expose a couple of things that made Max upset with Banks.
You see how Max is a partner of Spotify, right? He did not have that sponsorship at first. FaZe did. And this is how it happened. They redid Max's house, right? Redid his, and they're like, yo, can we put up the Spotify video? It's sponsored. Max is like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. After the video, I'm like, yo, take it down, you're not getting paid. These start saying, nah, this party, bro, like that just look good and make it official, bro, to Spotify, this look official. I'm looking at this, and this is where I'm like, how does Max have ego? Because it's like, yeah, this is a little hard, this is official. How does, like, I'm like, gang, you're Plaqueboymax, you can get that yourself, and if you want to split it, that's cool. What the So this is where, we end up taking it down. Little do we know they're selling his identity without letting him know. And so Max ends up.
How do you do that? How do you just sell somebody's identity with? Well, okay, I'll let him talk. My bad. I'm sorry. I'll let him talk.
Leaving FaZe, we only knew this because he left FaZe. He got the deal on Spotify. They dropped FaZe and gave it to Max. Guess how much this was for? 400 bands for 5 months. About to run up a half the ticket.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, y'all go ahead and catch me on my next Twitch stream. You know, my username in the link in the description. Magnite. 400 over 6 months. So what's that a month? Let's do some quick math. 400 over 6 months. That's basically 67,000 a month.
400 bans for 5 months, and FaZe had that deal allegedly exclusively to themselves, using Plaqueboymax's name and using his likeness, and weren't even going to tell him. And it's not like he was getting a percentage of that or getting half of that. The only reason they found out about that is because he actually ended up leaving FaZe and just got the deal himself. So he literally was getting fleeced with no one actually knowing, and the people behind that deal were FaZe along with FaZe Banks. So you can understand from Max's POV, if that is true, why you would have some resentment towards Banks. And let's not act like,
yeah, because y'all over here busting, making money, and not telling me that I'm making money. Kind of similar to the whole college athletes getting paid, not getting paid, but the school's getting paid for their jerseys. Like, bro, what? Like, I understand, yes, you might have put a position or whatever, but they're buying the jersey because my name is on the back of that motherfucker. You know what I mean? They could care less about this team at school. They're buying it because for me. So if it's buying it for me, I need some of that cheese, that cheddar, that guap.
Banks doesn't already have a pretty shady history when it comes to scamming in general. That's the whole reason why he was pushed out of FaZe in this most recent iteration. And even in the past, when it was just old FaZe, he had other crypto type scams or scams going on that had a lot of people questioning not only his leadership, but his morality. So when people see stuff like this, you gotta understand why from their perspective it's pretty easy to believe because of how shady Banks' past already is. This wasn't the only thing that Max's cousin had also claimed. He went on to also describe other events where Banks was being shady and talking about the FaZe members behind their back.
This Banks was calling Max in the car, saying like, yo, bro, they were just talking. They're like, yo, this Silky, though, he's lazy as da 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 da. Yo, you would have thought we was in a skit, talking crazy, not even knowing Max was on speaker. Silky is right next to Max, talking crazy about in Miami, saying this lazy, I don't know about this. And when he comes back, yo, this is my brother, So,
Like, bro, that's one thing about me. I hate that whole fake facade. This my man, whatever, bro. I'm the type of person, bro. If I genuinely don't fuck with you, bro, I'm not fucking with you, bro. It doesn't matter, bro. The situation. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be smoke when I see you, but I'm not finna. If I don't fuck with you, bro, I'm not gonna in public eyes act like I mess with you, bro. But that's just me, though. That's just me.
Fake this. I guess we all fake as Silky hearing everything. Yo, gang, he was talking about him for like 10 minutes. We were like, yo, I'm literally like, yo, are we in a skit? Does he know Silky's right here? He has to.
When FaZe Banks initially responded to all of the allegations of him ruining FaZe, he pointed out that all of the FaZe boys, including Max, Jason, all of them are fake and are controlled by their audiences and actually talk bad about each other behind their backs all the time, which is pretty odd claim to make because not only does it not to relate to the things that they were talking about, like Max bringing up these situations with bad money and bad business happening, but it also feels like a way to just misdirect the situation onto people doing bad things so you can just point and get mad at them. While in that same vein, apparently Banks is doing the exact same thing, talking bad about the people that are supposed to be his so-called brothers, the people that he was propping up, the people that he was having all of these grandstand speeches about how he's helped them, how he only wants to do good with them, and how he doesn't even want anything from them but to help, yet is talking bad about their work ethic and talking bad about them behind their backs, not even knowing that these people can hear him and understand that he is a fake person as well. And this is one of the big proponents as to why anything bad was to happen with the new era of FaZe or even the old version of FaZe. Banks was the first name to come to mind because he has allegations of doing so many bad things time and time again. But apparently we're not done here because Banks decided to be a complete weirdo and say something about Max and use a racial slur when referring to him because he left FaZe.
Max and Banks got in an argument, a crazy argument. They hang up. He calls other FaZe members and says, F this. He says, F this. That was his last straw of like, oh nah, because now it's like, gang, you overly playing with me. And it gets worse. This is called, when Max left, he called him like, yo, bro, why you leaving? Why you leaving? He would give him all the reason. He's like, yo, bro, the last reason for real was, you called me. You know what this response was like? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? What? And he's like, bro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know you said that. He's like, bro, I was angry, da da da, but keep it a buck, bro.
That's not a valid excuse, bro. Oh, I was angry. Oh, I was drunk. Oh, like, bro, no, bro. Just own up, breathe, man. Own up to what you said, bro, and stand on it, bro. Period. If you said it, you stand on it.
Oh, that's not the reason you left FaZe. Keep it a buck. Don't put that on me, bro. You know I'm going through a lot, bro. You know I love you. You're going through a lot.
But I feel like the thing is, it's like Max said in his video, bro. It's not. It didn't seem like it was one specific thing. It was just a things adding up to a point where it's like, all right, bro. Like I'm just done with this, bro. Just period.
I'm going through a lot. Don't put that on me, bro.
Okay. Damn, hold on. I look. What is it?
Max like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna expose that. Don't matter. Like, I'm gonna take that on the chin. I don't care, bro. I'll be the evil. But who said that? He's like, if I did, it wasn't on no racist, bro. Like, what?
Now, this is definitely very weird activity to me. I don't agree with anybody who is white saying the N-word. And I want y'all to know, because last time I spoke about somebody saying the N-word and they happen to be white, a lot of people were in my comment section talking about, I don't know why you're talking about it. Aren't you white yourself? Aren't you this? Yo, yes, me, LOL Novelly.
Damn. Actually, no, I kind of expect.
It is weird if you as a white person are saying. The reason I don't say it in my videos is because I don't feel like bleeping it out every time I have to. That is weird. The other issue that a lot of people were having with this was the way that Banks responded once being confronted with him saying this in the first place. Instead of just being like, hey man, that's my bad, taking full accountability, saying that he was in the wrong, he instead tries to pull the, I have a lot of things going on in my life, so I guess I just caused him to say slurs. Hey, you know I didn't mean it in a racist way, so it's X, Y, and Z, which doesn't make what you said or did any better. It is still some weird behavior to have and some weird stuff to do. Knowing the fact that it really isn't even his first offense doing weird stuff like this, Scum TK, someone who's closely adjacent with FaZe and one of the FaZe members that being erased, actually exposed that Banks does stuff like this a lot.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm about to start leaking. Got me tight, bruh. Cause I like chat. I'm not involved in this. I know, bruh. Behind the scenes, moving real vile, gang. Talking about some who the a Plaqueboymax. I'll make another Plaqueboymax right now. Discrediting what these have done. Being racist and disrespectful to girlfriends, bro. Like, yo, like what talking about, bruh? This make no sense to me. I hate to see a cat. What are we capping about? What are we doing right now? Using them for crypto scams. What are we talking about?
It seemed like throughout this entire situation, Banks really had no allies. Even though people didn't personally point at him as an issue, when he was brought up or his name was brought up, people would definitely look at it in disdain. And coming out again and talking bad about the boys that you were supposed to bring up and now you're supposed to care about so much is going to cause even more people to just dislike you. Not only their communities, but streamers that are adjacent to them and apparently have seen what happens behind the scenes and how people are moving and acting. And a lot of the time, it's not even the FaZe boys that are getting a brunt of all of this talk. It's mainly Banks being a complete weirdo, because when you ask other FaZe members who have come out and spoke about these people, they say that they are some cool people behind the scenes and showed mad respect.
And the boys who streamed every single day, like I said, I saw some clips, even from Ricky talking about how, they all have egos and different things like that. Look, at the end of the day, that is something I did not experience. They all were, I'm gonna tell you this right now, they all had a right to have an ego and they just did not. Look, they showed up to the video shoots, whether they maybe liked it or not, they showed up and they did it. They knew what was best for the group. They understood that, yo, we got to do content together, even like YouTube video content. We got to do the extra stuff to continue to push the brand.
I've met them in person. They're cool as they're the boys, bro. I wish them nothing but the best, dude. Those guys are gonna go on to do amazing things. They've done so much positive stuff when it comes to FaZe. They've helped propel FaZe into so many like avenues and stuff.
Those only two examples. It shows that other people just don't have this issue that Banks apparently saw. Maybe they just weren't as close, or maybe he just didn't see that behind the scenes as well as other people did. But it's very odd to see Banks call out them for being fake and being weird, while also throwing a bunch of other people under the bus with all of his most recent actions, and even the actions that he had today with exposing him and Plaqueboymax's text messages to him apparently saying the N-word, along with the future text messages that show him and Max were in communication heavily, showing that, hey, even though Max is saying he has these issues with me, there's no way he possibly does, because this is what he was actually doing in private. And a lot of this stuff can definitely be explained away, but I'm gonna allow him to try and explain everything that's happening so far in these messages, and then I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on the reality of the situation, along with Plaqueboymax's response.
Because his cousin just went live, and apparently I'm this awful, terrible guy, monster, who Max had all these issues with. But as you'll see, and when I share our conversation, that's not the energy that Max has given me over the last 5 months.
All right, so here we are. Here's my conversation with Max, July 28th. This is when that whole thing where he heard that I said,
let's read it. I'm in the shower. Hold on. You still in the shower? This is call me. Yo, when I'm on stream, I'm gonna speak highly of you. All this doesn't need to be brought into light. You don't need to worry about that. Like I said, I apologize for the tweet, Max. You don't even about any of you publicly. That's the thing too. I kind of okay. What my thing is, like I said earlier in the video, because there's a dude. I've had moments like this with my my homies where yeah, we might be back behind closed doors. Yeah, like me and you might have a problem, but I'm not necessarily gonna go to the net or I'm not gonna go to this person or that person and be like, you know, whatever. Like, because if me and you have a problem, me and you have a problem. That's our business. I don't feel like that needs to be everybody's business. That's at least that's just me though. Y'all let me know.
Blanks. Again, this wasn't aimed toward Max. This wasn't said at Max. There was never any sort of like racist connotation toward this word being used ever. Saw people talking about hard on. No, that's all noise. Absolutely not. What Max's initial response to it was, hey, stream speak highly of you. Doesn't need to be brought to light. You don't have to worry at all. Like I said, I apologize for the tweet. I said, Max, you don't got to say all that. I would never speak ill about anything publicly. Breaks my heart, crushes me, whatever. This one is the first time Max came over since he left. It was at the end of August. He sat with me. We talked for a few hours. I want to say he was at my house for 2-3 hours. And we left. I hugged him, told him I loved him, told him I'd always root for him, apologized about the what was said. He said no hard feelings, admitted several times that was not the reason why he left FaZe, that it was an accumulation of things. But as you'll see in this conversation, Max just thought that was the best move for his career. And then randomly November 4th, I'm gonna make you proud, bro.
I'm gonna make you proud. Thanks for believing me. Why? I just wish you believed me the same way we had in our hands. World takeover. I saw so clear. You got the great talk. I do, but trust. I just feel like leaving was part of me taking the next step. But your creative mind and understanding of this is insane. I don't doubt that at all. Thank you.
Thank you for always believing in me. Watch, guys. This is 5 weeks ago, man. This is 5 weeks ago. All the Spotify, everything that Morgan has talked about happened months before this. In July. This is November. Okay. Said I wish you believed in me the same way. Facts. Right here. Here we go. Like I up this.
Yeah, but I got fucked up with everything like that. But nah, Max said in his video though that him feeling like he messed it up was due to him like leaving and again his boys having to catch heat because he left or whatever. But like he said, he had to make a decision and he made his decision and he stood on it. Simple. I talked to them before several a couple weeks, but they didn't want me back. I understand they don't owe me anything to be honest, but I just know what I offered. I think everything would go even crazier, but ultimately this is on me. I'm still cool with everybody though. I show love where I can. Like he said, yeah, I show love a little bit more than I did miss working with you and Ray. Like I said, the N-word and contract shit threw me up bad, bro. But I'm past that, and we talked about it, so I don't care. And I get your point. Okay, so basically confirming. Okay, cool. You said it. Whatever.
I talked to them before the subathon. Want me back. They didn't want him back. Like I said, still cool with everybody. More than anything, I dead miss working with you and Ray. And like I said, the N-word and contract threw me off bad, bro. But I'm past that, and we talked about it, so I don't give his words, not mine. Again, like I said, it's all love, all due respect. It can be fixed. I promise you, Max. It's one of those things that could be a positive. I'm just staying optimistic. Talking to him about getting him back in FaZe, about getting him back on the track he wants to be on, whatever.
We should lock and document everything said to go over 19. This is a same contact deal 1 and 2. It gets you back to where you want to be. She just would be saying because to be honest, bro, I'm just had blown down. All this went down. I mean, stuff like that doesn't feel right.
Like this is crazy. I was to my house on November 7th. We talked for
214 bet here. I appreciate you more than I can ever say because content wise, everything was smooth. But business wise, bro, sheesh, I'm about to do this stream with Nike. All good. Like I said, I'll tap it with you every day. If you're consistent and ready to fix, I'm here to help. It won't be hard. Biggest thing is you got to trust it. How we should have moved a year ago. Transparency, trust, and being alive.
7 hours. Max gets into all the details about how much he's paying his aunt and his cousin and how his business is a disaster and asks me for a bunch of opinions and advice on what to do. And I told him, fire everybody except for Trey. Know how much money you're spending every month and get control, and it's all going to be all right, and I got you. If you want my help, I'll help. Appreciate you more than I can ever say. Content wise, everything's smooth. He says it himself, his business after leaving FaZe, sheesh.
Now again, this is the novelty supercut.
Wait, no, I thought wait, hold on. No, am I understanding? He said content wise everything was smooth, but business wise, like again, when he said the FaZe thing, the business, I take that as he's saying the business side of the FaZe thing was like weird, like he said in his video.
He says it himself, his business.
But if I'm missing something, please let me know in the comments, bro. You know, I'll be open minded and I'll open to hearing criticism, whatever. But I'm just based off what I heard myself.
After leaving FaZe, Sheesh.
Now again, this is the novelty supercut of these messages because Banks' video was 20 minutes long and I'm not showing every last message that he showed. But that was the most important part. Him actually having the conversation about the word that he said, Banks apparently saying that he had a whole different reason for leaving, even in Max showing that he's apologizing for it, talking about him coming over, talking business and things of that nature, where it seemed like Max was definitely looking to him to be a mentor and leaning on him a lot more after even leaving FaZe, to the point of even showing messages of him regretting leaving FaZe and feeling like that was a big issue for him. And this is where my bias definitely comes in as someone who just doesn't like Banks. When I see these messages and see certain things that are being said, it just feels like somebody who's trying to rely on people because he feels like he has no one actually by his side. And well, is that a good thing to do when Banks has done the weird stuff that he's done? Definitely not. But if you feel like you have no one else and your whole life is falling apart, going to someone where you feel secure or someone that actually gave you some type of security makes sense. And even makes more sense once you read what Plaqueboymax ended up saying in response to all the stuff that Banks actually said. I joined FaZe at 20. I respected Banks. After I left FaZe, Banks would call me saying I needed him and my career was falling off. He took advantage on the fact that I was depressed and in the hospital. At one point, I let all the calls get to me and asked to join FaZe again, but I kept going. And in November, I was introduced to a manager who helped me realize that a lot of the things he told me were lies. I've since leaving worked with bigger guests and brands and have a 2026 plan that is only even bigger than what I've accomplished so far. Thank you. I love you guys. Pray every day and follow your heart. See you soon, Prince. The reason that a lot more people are willing to believe Plaqueboymax over Banks, even though that Banks showed messages, showed proof of them talking, showed proof of their interactions, because of not only Banks' shady history, but just because of how he's been moving in this entire situation as a whole. When confronted with the altercation that, hey, you are doing these bad business practices, you are doing these bad things, instead of just taking accountability, talking about those things, moving forward, and actually explaining why all of these things happened and what went through him, he is just pointing the finger at Max. Don't get me wrong, if you want to have a segment in your video talking about Max because he put up a laugh track and had your tweet right there, you can go ahead and do that. But he hasn't even dived deeply into the bad allegations that have been put on him at all, and have just been trying to divide all of the attention that he has on himself and put it on the Max so that more people can just hate on him. That is weird behavior, and I would expect a weird person to do weird things like that, taking advantage of someone who is coming up in this career when you are already someone who has been in it, been through this stuff, and can apparently give advice, but push them in a certain direction based on the advice you give them. It's pretty odd behavior. It makes it even more odd when he says things like this after showing these text messages.
It's only a problem now because it's convenient for you and for this narrative to make me look like and to make you look right. And it's twisted, bro. And this is exactly what I was talking about yesterday as far as all being fake. You guys can read those text messages between me and him and say that this isn't fake. It's the definition. It's the textbook definition of fake. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Explain to me what other reason, why now? Why is it a problem now? Why is Morgan going live? Fat Boy Dip going live? Your cousin who, again, a month ago, you told me, I'm paying my cousin his rent, I'm paying my aunt her rent, my team sucks, like, bro, I'm in such a bad spot, whatever. Your cousin's literally trying to create a streaming career off of you. You're surrounded by leeches and yes men, bro. And you do have a insane ego, and you do have a problem with flipping back and forth. You admitted it in the text. You guys all just saw it. I'm not just saying to say it. I'm not saying things that I haven't said to Max directly either. And Max, for you to like treat me like this, for you to confide in me, treat me like a mentor, ask me for advice, make me feel like we're totally 100% cool, and then do this today, you have completely proven my point, my friend. To stoop as low as to try to weaponize the word and to paint me out to be this awful guy is crazy, bro.
Don't get me wrong, I still think it's weird for him to be saying the N-word or any other type of slur, and if Max was condoning or allowing that from any other people or anybody else a part of that group were, that is still weird to me. That is very odd. But there are other things at hand outside of just that. He is in the wrong for that. He can definitely be right. He's in the wrong for that. There are other things that are established here that they have mentioned and talked about that he hasn't even brought up. He talked about watching Morgan stream, and the only thing he is harping on for an entire 20 minutes straight, even showing full-blown text messages, is the fact that he said this word, and that's it. Not explaining some of these weird deals that he was a part of, not explaining some of these weird contracts, just giving it a brush hand, being like, hey man, this was after all that stuff he said happened, but look at how he is right here. And it's like, bro, you're not even talking about the real problem at hand, and that's the bigger issue here. We're just trying to deflect and not actually focus on what people are upset about, and it's odd and weird behavior. And people have also already called this out.
I knew it. That's how you got Charlie D'Amelio. You was able to manipulate her because she was young, and you were 20 plus years older than her. You manipulate her. You're a groomer, weirdo. She was 17, Ricky.
Banks is a proven manipulator, weird person, and alleged scammer. So even if he has a portion of his story right, showing full proof with receipts, people are still quick to not believe him because of the weird antics that he brings. He's one of the most unreliable sources for any type of information. If he was to come out and say the sky was blue, I'm pretty sure everybody would second guess if that was actually fact. So when he's accused,
that is such bad PR. If people say if we wouldn't even trust you if you said the sky was blue. Damn, that's how you know you PR'd that.
Of doing weird things, not really even accused, just has a hint of an idea of being weird in the FaZe situation. And his retaliation is not only to throw everybody else under the bus, but to make a 20-minute dedicated video on Plaqueboymax showing sensitive information that they had in the background and behind the scenes. You are not surprised as to why people do not like this guy and why a bunch of people point at him when any wrongdoings actually happen, specifically with his company that he was trying to rebuild being FaZe. This entire situation as a whole, I'm pretty sure you can tell my thoughts on it. FaZe Banks is a complete weirdo, and while some of these things I cannot be okay with that Max did or anybody else in the FaZe did, for the majority of it, Banks is still coming out of it looking like the bad guy. At least that is just how I feel. If you want to tell me how you feel, the best place to do would be the comment.
Yeah, with that being said, we're gonna wrap up this video. You know, I'll go ahead and catch up. Oh, actually, y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are on the situation in the comments, and I'll catch y'all boys later, man.